Okay. What's up? This is Dave over at Green Hat Kiteboarding. I got Ed Junket here. He is like the Parawing guy. He has ridden all the Parawings that we sell. And this is just more of this is just a video for me to learn more because Parawing and me is just not getting along. So he's going to go through all the different Parawings, say kind of what makes more sense for each one, whether it be upwind, downwind capability, where you want your hand on the handle, all that fun stuff.
All right, let's start with the North Parawing. So this is the 5.2. If you're looking to go downwind and have a grunty Parawing, I think that this is like your go-to if you want like a good price point. So North Ranger 5.2, it doesn't have the ribs in the front of the leading edge, which allows it to pack down smaller, which I really do love about this one. And the low end grunt of this wing is probably unmatched across the range when it comes to this 5.2. It really will get you on foil in some pretty light winds, which is really good for learning. The one downside I'll say to it is that it doesn't go upwind well. So it's probably the least favorable for going upwind that we sell here at Green Hat. But if you're looking to get into downwinders, you're not really worried about going upwind. So I think that this is a great option for if you have lighter wind conditions, that 12 to 20 mile per hour range, and you just want to get on foil, stow this thing away and go enjoy the downwind run. This is a great option for you. Next one over we have is the, don't forget about it, the F1 Frigate.
The Frigate.
The Frigate. So I really love this one. This one's a great all-around Parawing. It has great low end, good top end, and it's very well controlled, very like you could fly the thing backwards as you're going down a swell, and it'll just hold its structure, which is really nice. It can handle good gusts of wind, and it's got really short lines, so it's easy to redeploy and stow away, which this is probably one of my favorite ones for wave riding at this time. So like if I'm going to stay in one spot and I want to keep, putting it away, pulling it back out, this is what I would go with. The Frigate has been probably a crowd favorite, I would say. Like everybody that gets it doesn't really look away from it and they stick with it, which is nice to hear. And I think it's a really good all-around Parawing.
Yeah.
Flysurfer POW, this is the 4 meter. This is my go-to light wind, downwind Parawing. I use this thing in about 12 to 16 mile per hour wind all summer long. This was my go-to. The 4 meter was able to get me on foil and then continue my Parawing runs. The upwind ability is good. The flying characteristics, it's got a lot of good low end grunt. I really like that. And you can really, the way the bar is like ergonomically made, you can really hang on the A lines if it's a little powered up and control it. So that's really good with the POWs. Ozone Pocket Rocket, probably the most well-known out there. This wing has really been able to do it all for most people. It's kind of known for being able to ride really powered up, which is great if you have gusty conditions. With the Ozone, they have done a really good job with this first generation Pocket Rocket, and I think that most people that ride it really enjoy it. They have a big range of sizes, and I've used everything from the 1.9 up to the 5 meter. One thing I would say is probably doesn't have as good of a low end as the Flysurfer, the Frigate, or the North, but the flying characteristics of it are great. It's super easy to control, and it really can handle like a good range of wind. And then they're obviously coming out with their new power pack, which is going to have a really broad range of wind. And if you've looked at the statistics on the numbers, really good low end. So they've obviously saw that this is where the Pocket Rocket was lacking, low end, and they decided to go and make this new power pack, which is a really exciting wing.
For sure.
Yeah.
So one more thing about the North, it does actually have this backpack, which is kind of sweet because you can technically really pack it down and literally throw it on your back. Also, it's just much easier. Same color lines.
Yeah, all green lines. the leading edge lines, it looks like they have like the separate color of red right here. So when you're pulling the bar out, you can tell the difference.
Sure, top and bottom.
Yeah, top and bottom of the bar. And the bar is all one color black. So that gets a little bit confusing where a lot of the other brands. The POW is really hard to mess up because it's got that like curve towards the front and it's really easy to figure out which one's the leading edge. Pocket Rocket's got 2 different colors on either side of the bar. And I forget what the Frigate has for the bar. If it's 2 different colors, I believe it is.
Yep,
2 different colors. And Frigate is the only one that does come with a 1-point harness attachment, which is nice. Because if you're not riding harnessed, you're doing it wrong.
Maybe that's my problem. I haven't been riding with I've just been holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
Tucker said it the best. What did you say? It's like walking 2 golden retrievers through like a forest of squirrels.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is like the Flysurfer POW bar that I was talking about. You can see it's got a much higher curve on the front end, so it's pretty hard. Even though they have all orange lines, it's pretty hard to like mistake this as the front.
So having different color lines, how important is that in your personal opinion?
As a beginner, it is a very nice thing to have, right?
Yeah.
When you're first learning and you're panic pumping on a swell and you're going to redeploy the wing and you're just like praying, you're pulling the bar out and just praying it's going to come out right. Yeah, I think that the different color lines come into a huge factor there.
That was like one of my biggest things when I first went, was getting wrapped up, not understanding what's happening, and trying to figure out what lines are for the A, what lines are for the B, what lines are for the C. And north, all the same color, different color, different color, different color.
All the same color.
All the same color.
All orange.
Oh, okay.
Neon orange.
Okay.
Yeah. I think like you were just saying, as you're a beginner, it does help to have those different color lines. As you get more into that intermediate stage, it starts to matter less and less. And then once you're advanced, you kind of understand. You get your stowing down and your redeploy, and you know how you're going to grab the bar, and you just practice that. And it comes into play practicing on land. That's like, I preach that to everybody that's getting into it, is like, use the Parawing on land way more than you use it in the water when you're first learning, and just practice those stowing and redeploying methods that you're going to use. There's a couple of different ways to do it, and find one that works for you and stick with it and rep it out. Whether you're doing it just walking on land, on a skateboard, on a one wheel, on a mountain board if you have one, before you're in the water trying to fumble around with this thing, because that's when you get in the golden retrievers in the forest with squirrels situation.
Yeah. Something else that I kind of thought, and you know, I've gotten up with a Parawing. I'm packing it down. It's definitely like I'm panicking, and I'm relaunching. But I think it's also important, anyone beginning, to actually learn how to just fly it in the water after they're comfortable on the land, but in the water just on your knees, knowing where to put it in order to go upwind, knowing what's going to happen when you go downwind. Because once you figure that out, then it's not as intimidating when you're standing up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, you know, as you're sitting on the board, before you even get to your knees, you can practice all of that, right? You're in the water, you're sitting on your board, and you're just like kind of figuring out the manipulation of the bar. Like, can I hold it up higher, closer to the A lines? And will that depower it enough where I can just sit on the board and relax? Or if you start to hold it more towards the center of the bar and it drops down into the wind window a little bit more and you start to get yanked downwind. So playing with that while you're sitting down, then kneeling. And then, like you said, once you get to your feet, hopefully you have a good understanding of where you're holding the bar and like how much wrist pressure you're putting on it to, like, you know, either keep it more towards 12 o'clock and let the wind flow underneath it, or like leaning it more downwind if you're like trying to get up onto foil and like let it catch the wind a little bit more. And then the same thing goes for like, if you're looking at like a clock face, whether it's like closer to the water, like if it's like, you know, 3 or 9 o'clock, or if it's at like more towards 12 o'clock and you're just kind of waiting for a wind gust.
Cool. So what I kind of got from this was a lot of power, user friendly, light wind capability.
Yeah.
And this one has better, or the best, upwind capability.
I think it's debatable. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I can say that for sure, but yeah, great all-arounder for sure with the Ozone, Flysurfer as well, Frigate as well. Like those three, you can't really go wrong as an all-around Parawing. The North, I wouldn't recommend as like a stay-in-place type of thing, and I'm sure they're working on another version that will be better for that. But
they
are. They knew that when they put this out that it was a great tool for getting onto foil and stowing away and going downwind. That it wasn't designed to wave ride and stay in place. So, you know, it wasn't like it's a flop. They knew what they were doing when they released this product.
It wasn't designed to replace a wing.
Yeah, where these other ones are now in the realm of, you know, I can hold the same line and get the same angles that you'd get on a regular wing with these Parawings, which is really cool.
Cool. Well, I feel better about it.
Let's see how you do on the water.
Yeah, seriously. Content to come.
Yeah, and if you guys have any questions, just shoot them down in the YouTube comments and we'll be more than happy to answer.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have all this stuff in stock. Go grab yours, shop in the icons, hit the links. And if you like this, comment, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and go get on foil.
Peace.